The new year is upon us. Have you started your New Year's resolution list? Well, for those of you who haven't, not to worry. We have a few tips to manage your coins, ways to conserve an energy, and gas-saving measures, all wrapped up in this package. Hello and welcome to today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. But before we get to the heart of the show, a word of advice followed by the news.
When you use the road, you need to be aware of how your action affects others.
I go around the corner. Only to see a man stopping on the big road. But some people are crossing on a blind corner.
When motorists have to stop on the green light to allow people to cross, it creates problems.
People just can't walk out on the road, some man. From a corner, from behind vehicle. They need to be more careful, man.
We have overhead bridges, pedestrian crossings, and crosswalks. Some of them even have signals to tell you when to cross.
People, walk on the sidewalk. If there is none, walk on the right side. And please, if you can't find a pedestrian crossing, make sure the road clear before you cross. Drivers need to drive good.
But pedestrian need to walk good too.
Walk good.
Good day, I'm Samantha Allen, and this is your GIS News for Monday, December 30. Jamaica's tourism industry recorded a landmark achievement Sunday when the country officially welcomed the 2 million plus stopover visitors for 2013, the first time that number has been seen in any one year. Tourism Minister Dr. Wickham McNeil and others greeted the 2 millionth visitor at the Sangster International Airport. He remarked that the milestone was evidence that Jamaica remained high on the list of consumers worldwide. Asserting that marketing efforts to maintain that standard would continue, he revealed that just over 1.4 million cruise passengers were also expected to grace the island this year. Director of Tourism John Lynch said it was a very good time for tourism in Jamaica. Government will be spending more than $700 million providing improved housing solutions for sugar workers in Trelawney. Cabinet recently approved the award of 2 contracts to Senatech Engineering Solutions Limited to carry out the work under the Sugar Barracks relocation project. Approximately $465.8 million will be spent building 66 studio units, 47 two-bedroom units, and 32 three-bedroom units at Stokes Hall. Another 30 studio units, 26 two-bedroom and 24 three-bedroom units will be constructed at Hampton Court at a cost of approximately $267 million. Construction in both schemes will be done over 10 months. Residents in and around Betheltown, Westmoreland can look forward to improvements in their water supply by September 2014. Cabinet recently approved a contract for upgrading the water supply and distribution system starting this month. The work is to cost more than $43 million and involves the laying of approximately 7 kilometers of new pipeline by Bacchus Engineering Limited.
The upgrading work is necessary to meet both existing and prospective customer needs in the communities of Wedderburn, Argyle Mountain, and Horton Hill in eastern Westmoreland.
Meanwhile, more than 9 kilometers of water mains on the Cascade Water Supply Scheme in Hanover is to be replaced. The $43.7 million contract is being awarded to Frederick Rodriguez and Associates Limited. The Ministry of Education today met with several school board chairmen to get their support for its Effective Principals Training Program. The program, which began in November 2012, trains education officers in various aspects of school operations. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites recently told Parliament that about 49 principals of underperforming schools have refused to attend the leadership training. It's provided by the National College for Educational Leadership. Today's meeting, which was held in Mandeville, is an attempt to secure compliance. Still on education, $1.4 billion has been approved to implement the Tablets in Schools pilot project. It will be financed by the Universal Service Fund. It's being jointly implemented by the Technology and Education Ministries to increase the use of technology and optimize learning opportunities for students in and out of the formal school system.
25,000 tablets will be provided to students and teachers in 39 institutions in the pilot project. They will include pre-primary, primary, secondary, special education, and teacher education training college.
And finally, in keeping with government's quest to develop an efficient public service, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has launched a records management competition across all its parish offices. Portfolio Minister Derek Kelly says effective and efficient records management is a critical contributor to sound policy planning and implementation.
Records management does not exist in a vacuum and connects to so many elements, all of them overlapping, dovetailing and interfacing to create a composite whole, and one which is crucial, a very crucial ingredient in the improvement of the country's public service.
He adds that proper records management is relevant in the context of the Access to Information Act. The competition is being held under the theme Toss or Keep and will run until December 2014. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.
Bamboo growers, companies involved in the manufacturing of bamboo products. Get registered with the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. The BSJ is a member of the International Network for Bamboo and Rattan, and the government of Jamaica wants to develop a standard-led bamboo industry that could lead to job creation and economic growth. Companies, your products could be stamped with the regionally recognized Jamaica-made mark certification and the National Certification Mark. Get registered and receive quality training and international certification. For more information, call the Bureau's Special Projects Department at 926-3140 or visit the BSJ at 6 Winchester Road, Kingston 10.
With a new year on the horizon, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller is setting her administration's agenda for the 2014-2015 financial year. To achieve the goals set, Mrs. Simpson Miller and her team at Jamaica House were engaged in several important activities this past week.
Jamaicans encouraged to draw inspiration from the Christmas story. Prime Minister expresses condolences to Caribbean neighbors and adults reminded to care for the little ones. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Andrea Chisholm. With many Jamaicans still enjoying the holiday season, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller urged individuals last week to draw inspiration from the Christmas story. During her message, the Prime Minister said the Christmas story brings hope and reminds us that we are a people of purpose who continue to inspire the world.
If we let the seeds of its inspiration take root and bloom in our families and communities throughout the year, we will succeed in making our land calm, peaceful, and bright.
Mrs. Simpson Miller added that persons should always remember the less fortunate as they celebrate with family, friends, neighbors, and visitors.
As we give gifts to those we love and care for, let us be always mindful of the poor and dispossessed among us. In the spirit of gift-giving and caring for others, let us be mindful of the poor as Christ taught us.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister did not forget our Caribbean neighbors during the Yuletide season. She expressed sadness at the loss of life and destruction of property in the islands of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dominica. The damage was as a result of flooding caused by a weather system that began affecting the region on Christmas Eve. In her condolence message, the Prime Minister extended best wishes to our Caribbean neighbors as they clean up and rebuild their communities and pledged the support of the government and the people of Jamaica.
You do have a responsibility to look out for the interest of the children.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller is urging to adults at a recent function.
Take care of the children. The African proverb said it takes a village to raise a child. It's not just about mother, father, auntie, uncle, and cousins. Everybody should look out for the children.
She added that the older, more experienced individuals should be mentors to the young people by encouraging and motivating them in their endeavors.
Encourage them to be disciplined and to give support. I want to ask you to help them to believe in themselves and to know that they can achieve if they put their minds to what they want to do. And those who are doing very well at high school and the universities, continue to. We give you support. You are the future.
The Prime Minister was speaking recently at a ceremony where 48 houses were handed over to residents of Manchester Gardens under the revamped inner city housing program. And the Prime Minister also took time out to meet with vocal powerhouse Tessanne Chin. Mrs. Simpson Miller again congratulated her on winning American talent show The Voice and presented her with a gift. Other staff members at the Office of the Prime Minister were also on hand to greet Tessanne. In the meantime, Pastor Everett Brown, president of the Jamaica Union of Seventh-day Adventists, and Pastor Michael Harvey from the Northern Caribbean University also paid a courtesy call on the Prime Minister recently. And that's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Join us next week for the latest from the Office of the Prime Minister.
Each time you're not paying full attention to the road environment, the greater your chances of getting in a crash like that. Plan routes to avoid focusing on GPS systems, prevent children from roaming in motor vehicles, turn down the volume of car stereo systems, pull off the roadway if you have to use mobile devices, do not read, watch television or eat while driving, avoid multitasking, and keep conversations with other passengers to a minimum. Whether you walk, ride or drive, avoid potentially fatal distractions. Welcome to the FSC Minute. I am Nadine Newsom. Today we continue to explore the United States Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, FATCA, and its implications for the financial sector. And joining me is Gian Demel, Audit and Tax Partner with Deloitte. Welcome to the FSC Minute, Mr. Demel.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Mr. Demel, if I participate in a pension plan, would FATCA have implications for me?
I would say yes, if you're a U.S. person. Pension plans have to identify the U.S. persons and report their information to the U.S. Treasury. But I must say that the rules for pension plans are somewhat complex.
Does this apply to insurance policies?
Yes, the foreign insurers that offer cash value insurance or annuity contracts, as well as its holding companies, will be classified as FFIs. Investment policies are subject to taxation in the U.S., so the account holders who are U.S. persons holding insurance policies defined as investment instruments are subject to FATCA provisions.
What role does an institution like the FSC play as it relates to implementation for its regulated entities?
I think FSC will have a role to play where they could coordinate the efforts with the other regulators and the government to review the local laws that will have a contradiction with FATCA And FSC also can play a role in educating the insurance companies and the financial institutions to deal with the special cases that come across that may have implications. And I think FSC also can educate the clients of these institutions how to handle their personal affairs in relation to the FATCA rules and regulations.
Thank you, Mr. Demel. My guest today was Gian Demel, Audit and Tax Partner with Deloitte. For the FSC Minute, I am Nadine Newsom.
As we enter a new year, we have to take a serious look at how we manage our finances. Our next feature will give you some basic things to consider.
Yo, star, never a party day now, and guess what? Outfit.
But that EG fella, me one shot.
Red, high one, hard boy. Them things that really important to me take money and go buy foolishness.
John Star, what I offer?
It's the no money but enough things to buy period. How do you balance the equation? The first thing you need to do is create a budget and stick to it. It's just a matter of looking at your expenditures and how you're going to pay for them.
Well, first of all, you need to pay yourself first. For the absolutely critical expenses like your utility bills, your rent, putting aside the money for your bus fare and your taxi fare and your lunch, those need to come out, because at the end of the day, if you don't have those, then you probably won't have a job.
Then you need to set aside money for a rainy day, just in case something unexpected occurs.
If my living expenses is 30% of my income, then I need to have, roughly that amount set aside, roughly maybe 4 or 5 times that amount set aside in a rainy day fund or in an account that I'm not going to touch.
Pencil, paper, and a calculator will do the trick. But if you want to be a little more techno-savvy than that, you can use Microsoft Excel or an online budget calculator.
By writing it down or by putting it down on paper, you will be able to see where it is that you can actually make some savings, because you will recognize that, I've been spending 5% of my income on whatever it is, which is not a necessity.
You might argue that you take advantage of discounts in order to cut back on expenses, but that discount may not quite be the bargain you think.
It may be that retailer or that person selling that item actually had a higher price than the average in the market, and what they have done is given a discount, and their discount has just come back in line with market, while if you had shopped around, you would have gotten it for a much cheaper price.
Also, the product may not be of a high quality, so look more closely at those so-called discounts. Now, from time to time, you hear people complaining that they cannot save. Their expenses far outweigh their income. So is saving really realistic? Yes, it is. This adage couldn't have phrased it better. One quokka, full basket.
It's not true that you need to have $10,000 to start. You can start with 100, 500. You just put it aside and you keep adding to it. Because if you think about it, if someone were to come to you every day and beg you for $1 for 20 years, how much money would that be?
Another suggestion, ignore things that aren't important or absolutely necessary.
Okay, I go out and I see that bag or that shoe or that shirt that I want to buy. I think I really need it, but then when I think about the fact that I have $500 saved and I really wanted to have $1,000 saved by the end of the month, and if I buy the shirt, then obviously I'm subtracting away from my saving or my investment, and you make the sacrifice.
Now, savings should not be confused with investments.
Saving is basically taking your money and putting it in a safe investment, so the primary objective there is preservation of your principal or your capital. So your objective is not to lose it, but it's also not to grow it significantly. So you're not taking on a lot of risk. Investing now is when you have a plan and you're trying to reach an objective, and then you're trying to work out what is the rate that I what is the rate that I need to earn in order to achieve this objective.
Let's put it another way. For savings, you pretty much get back what you put in. For investment, you get that and more. After building up your savings, then you can invest. When investing, you first need to determine the type of investor you are. You can be conservative, moderate, or aggressive. Then with the help of an investment advisor, you can choose the type of investment you want to go into. Some examples include money market investments, unit trusts, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, or equities.
And that portfolio mix will allow you to achieve your goal with the help of a financial advisor.
Another way to make money is by getting a part-time, one-off, or consultancy job. But we all know that too much work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, so it's quite okay to treat yourself. Then there's the issue of a salary increase. Approach it from a business perspective.
I'm here to discuss the possibility of a salary increase. Okay, let's discuss it. Say the company were to consider giving you an increase in salary. What added value could you bring to the table? I would take on additional responsibilities, implement cost-saving measures, and also improve my efficiency.
If the firm is not earning more, whether through cost savings or through additional revenue, it's going to be very difficult for the firm to continue with the same cost base to pay more to employees. That's just a fact of life.
So resolve to make smart financial decisions. Learn about personal finances. Don't procrastinate.
So for each day that goes by that you run up that credit card bill more and don't pay off those high debt credit card bills or any high cost debt that you have, is actually costing you money.
It's all about making sacrifices in the short term to achieve your long-term goal. Create a budget and stick to it. Save and invest. Buy things that are necessary. Choose your discounts carefully and find legitimate ways of making extra income.
I spend quality time with my family every day. It is very important because at the end of the day, you have children around you and you have to show them that, okay, this is the foundation, this is the way it's supposed to be.
They keep the family together and in line, you know, and especially with the boys.
Here's another thing to consider: gas. So why not carpool? Carpooling can save you time and money, not to mention petrol.
Good afternoon, miss. Afternoon. Give me 3,500 E1087, please. How much for the gas this week? It not gone up. Almost $2, miss. All right. Lord, that means I can't full up the tank then. I really have to find a way to cut this gas bill.
Sounds familiar? How many times have you said that to yourself while at the gas pump? If you're one of the many Jamaicans who want to save on gas, consider this: carpooling.
If you live in a particular area, a particular community, that your neighbors, who you will get to know, will probably have the same travel needs at the same time as you do, and you just get together in one car and do it. You can make alternative arrangements that you travel in my car this week and I travel in your car this week, and so we all share the burden and the costs of moving around on our legitimate business. You can save 25% if your gas bill for purchasing fuel is $4,000 a week. It can be reduced to $3,000 a week without any change in your quality of life, with just a small change in your lifestyle. We'd have a major, and I really stress major, problem in the energy sector. Energy costs are very high, not only to our individual pockets, but to the Jamaican economy. In 2008, we spent $2.8 billion importing oil. This is a significant problem in respect of our economy, in that we are spending more to import oil than the goods that we export, much more, and therefore we need to reduce the amount of imported fuels that we now use. The price of oil, as we use it, the price is also increasing in tandem with our use, so that we can look forward as we go into the future for oil prices to rise significantly. So we have approximately 40 years of oil now in reserves at the present rate of consumption, and we have about 60 years of natural gas. Now we hope to find more reserves, but we need to be able to conserve, because we do not yet have a complete replacement for oil and gas in our energy future.
Almighty God, creator and sustainer of life, we are humbled by your acts of kindness to us over the years. You have journeyed with us through the bitter years of slavery and have brought us the gift of our emancipation.
We thank you for those who, with determination, have led the way to our freedom.
We celebrate another act of your goodness. For the past 50 years, we have enjoyed political independence, and so as a sovereign nation, we have been able to make our own decisions.
We have matured. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We give you jubilant praise and thanks, O God.
Gracious God, despite our shortcomings, we have much for which to give you thanks. You have been faithful to us in good times and in challenging times. In this Jubilee year, we pause to give you thanks for all your expressions of love, O God. We celebrate and give thanks for the harmony that exists among us.
Truly, we are living witnesses of what it means to be out of many, one people.
We give you thanks for the infrastructural developments that have taken place over the years. We celebrate and give you thanks, O God, for the giftedness of our people, their kindness and creativity, their indomitable spirit that have resulted in excellence in all areas here at home and within the diaspora.
Oh God, we truly love our country, and we thank you for making us a special people admired by the world.
We thank you for all the men and women and young people and children who continue to play their part to make their mark towards our ongoing development. Almighty God, as we move forward, we place Jamaica land we love into your care. Watch over us, enlarge our territory, allow the reign of your peace and justice among us. Establish your kingdom among us and help us to realize our full potential We ask this in your high and exalted name. Amen.
That's our program for today. Thank you for having joined us. Remember, this is the right time to put together your New Year's resolution list if you have not yet done so. We'd love to hear from you, so send us an email, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Follow us on Twitter @JISNews, or you can visit our website, jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire production team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.